Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Shalom, shalom. Good to see everyone here. Hope you're doing well. Well, we know the world is heating up, and heat waves are lasting longer. And there's a lot of sunburned people I've seen online especially from Europe, because of all the heat waves. So, ladies and gentlemen, skin cancer is surging globally, all over the world. There are more and more cases of skin cancer, melanoma. So, here in the US, we always had a high cancer rate too, out here in the west part of the world. And white people usually lead in this country of having the most skin cancer cases. Well, right behind them are the Native Americans, or what they call the quote unquote Native Americans. They are the second group of having the highest rate of cancer in America. We know they're Siberians, they're Asians, but this country for centuries tried to make us believe they are the original people of the land. They came from somewhere else, which means they can't be original at all. So we're going to get into this, y'all, and I'm telling you, it is heating up in America. And I told y'all about the heat dome. This time is going to be over the Midwest. Now, we do have 4 days in a row in the 90s that's coming up this week. But after that, we drop back to the 80s, and the Midwest will be looking at triple digit temperatures that will go on until the very end of this month. That's how long the heat dome will be hovering over that spot. So, my subscribers that live in the Midwest, stay cool. Do whatever you can, keep yourself hydrated. If you can be in a cool place, be there. Check on your elderly, check on, school is out pretty much for most of the country. So, just make sure your kids and your elders are also staying well hydrated and staying in cooler temperatures. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's about to turn into a furnace over the Midwest. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Yeah. Yeah, Wania, they were over there at one point in time on TikTok talking about they gonna sue Black Americans because we were trying to claim we were indigenous. And our folks were over there saying, yeah, go ahead, take us to court because we can prove it. We can prove it. And that just kind of fizzled out. Talking about we need to be sued. And everybody was like, hey, go right ahead. We would love to get in court and prove who we are. And they dropped that real fast. Thank you for the ones.
They trying to tell us that bone straight hair ass, light skin ass, thin nose ass Asians came across a motherfucking mile high sheet of ice and got to South America and started growing curly afros and curly long hair and shit. That's what they say science says, when the same science says that that is impossible and you cannot get dominant genes from recessive genes. So how the fuck did they come from where they came from, looking how they look, and got down here and looking totally different? But if we know what we know, that the shit that's in South America by the equator is indigenous to everywhere around the planet next to the equator. So, I mean, two and two is four, bro. Y'all not finna tell me some light skinned ass motherfuckers came down this bitch and went to going afros and went to getting melanin and shit. Get the hell out of here with that.
We need all the help we can get. Akin nakain ng ano ng pag-umulan. Pagsak niya. Nakain. Pagsak.
Dahan lang. Hindi natin nakakita yung next.
Wake up, new crisis caused by Elon just dropped. So everybody knows about the ozone, right? So the ozone is this layer of sunscreen around the Earth that blocks the cancer-causing color of light, UVA and UVB, from reaching the surface and giving everyone cancer. And there are a few chemicals that we've identified historically that are a big problem because they go up into the air and they eat up this layer, and then everyone gets cancer. But luckily, humanity got together and decided we should stop doing that. And we did. And for a while, it was working. You can see the hole getting smaller, smaller and smaller and smaller. But then, a few years ago, something happened. And now, it's just as bad as it's ever been all of the sudden. So why is that? What could be causing a sudden reversal, despite the fact that we banned the chemicals that we thought were most responsible? Well, they're saying maybe it's the weather, maybe it's volcanoes. For some reason, suddenly, despite the fact that we banned the chemicals that were causing this, that we knew were causing this, and everything was getting better, suddenly it's getting so much worse than ever before. So what's causing it? It's Starlink. A new study has explained how these enormous number of satellites burning up in the atmosphere releases chemicals that also react with ozone and cause it to be depleted and cause the ozone layer to be destroyed. They identified a number of chemicals that are released when thousands of these satellites burn up all over the world. 17 metric tons, right, of these satellites burning up, right? And it's going to be a lot more because the whole point of Starlink, the whole reason Starlink exists is to create launch demand because there is no market for SpaceX to ever break even. And so investors invest in Starlink. That money goes to SpaceX to pay for launches, and SpaceX can allegedly break even, right? It's allegedly a viable business because they're inventing all of this demand for launches. But that launch demand contains toxic chemicals that are being released into the atmosphere when these burn up every year because they only last for a short time in the sky. And then these chemicals are released and it destroys the ozone all over the world. And one of the things that's really interesting and different about this cause of ozone depletion is it's everywhere because these satellites are everywhere and they're destroying the atmosphere and the ozone everywhere around the world when they burn up everywhere around the world. And if you look at the timeline, they last up to a year before they start burning up. And right here, when things were the best, this is when it started. They started launching them. A year later, this is what it looked like. And this study explains in detail all of the different chemicals and how they react specifically, and they include models and explanations for all of it. I would check this out. It's an interesting study. So if you get skin cancer in the near future, you'll know who's to blame.
I want to see y'all IQ test your way out of this one. The nationalities most susceptible to skin cancer: New Zealand, Australia, Switzerland, Sweden, Norway, Netherlands, Denmark, Slovenia, the US, Great Britain, Finland, Czech, Germany, Ireland, and Belgium. And the rest is just a bunch of more white countries.
Jews are indigenous to the state of Israel.
They claim they're indigenous to the land, but then they turn around and have the second highest rate of skin cancer in the entire world. The math ain't mathing.
In 1930, skin cancer was almost unheard of. Today, we're heading towards 1 in 45 people have it. That's not just a bump, that's an explosion. Here's what makes zero sense. Over that same century, we went outside less and used more sunscreen than any generation ever has in history. If the sun was really the villain, the rates should be dropping. Instead, they went vertical. Now, before every dermatologist on this app runs to my comment section, yes, some of that is better detection, but better detection does not explain a 30-fold jump. Be serious now. The sunscreen research is very uncomfortable. A 2018 meta-analysis, 29 studies, over 300,000 people. Its conclusion, word for word, did not confirm the expected protected benefit of sunscreen against skin cancer in the general population. Those are their words, not mine. So what's the driver of skin cancer that nobody wants to fund a study on? Your diet, the oxidative state of your skin, decided by what you eat long before you step into the sun. A body full of seed oils reacts very differently than a body that is nourished. To be very clear, don't toss your sunscreen. Burning is real damage, but the idea that the sun was the only villain was always too convenient. Maybe it was never just about the sun. Follow for the questions that they stopped asking.
That's the problem. Y'all think whatever you don't like, whatever you don't want to hear, I'll make you disappear. I'll unalive you. Yeah, you think that's going to magically make it go away? Is that how you think reality works? Whatever you don't like, whatever you don't want to hear, you just get rid of it and you make it go quiet, and that solves the problem. Bro, I could die today, God forbid. You're still going to go outside and catch skin cancer. All right? That shit doesn't change anything. I could pass away right now, God forbid. You would still go outside and catch skin cancer. That's not going to change anything. The fuck? That's why you guys think you're the superior race, because you're so good at lying to yourself. That's all y'all do.
You got a big freckler. Oh, okay. So this is a basal cell skin cancer.
That is?
So this one probably needs to be cut and stitched.
What?
Oh, cut.
And then stitch me up?
Yeah.
How soon should he do this? Because I've been telling him, Mike, you need to go to the dermatologist.
Yeah, you do. Right. It needs to be removed so it doesn't keep growing and taking over normal skin.
Oh, good Lord.
So he should make an appointment today.
You should.
Did you know that skin cancer is the most common cancer in the United States? Most skin cancers are a result of exposure to UV radiation and can be prevented. So things you can do to protect yourself. First, slip on a shirt. Secondly, slop on sunscreen, SPF 50 or higher, broad spectrum, which means it will protect you from both UVA and UVB. And make sure to check the expiration date. Third, slap on a large wide brim hat that also covers your neck and your ears. And don't forget your eyes. Learn how to correctly apply sunscreen, skin check, and everything you need to know about being safe out in the sun here in this website.
Jews are indigenous to the state of Israel.
They claim they're indigenous to the land, but then they turn around and have the second highest rate of skin cancer in the entire world. The math ain't mathing.
In 1930, skin cancer was almost unheard of. Today, we're heading towards 1 in 45 people have it. That's not just a bump, that's an explosion. Here's what makes zero sense. Over that same century, we went outside less and used more sunscreen than any generation ever.
So y'all, now some of them are trying to say that they burn due to the fact that they eat too much junk. Now that I do believe. I do. You know, they always try to act like they eat so healthy and eat so good. I'm one of those people that's willing to bet they eat a lot of junk when they're at home. I think they do more than, I think they're the biggest consumer of junk. Just based on what I see when I'm around them in the supermarket. They always have the big tub of ice cream, all kinds of candy, sugary cereals. I see that in their cart. That's what I see. I see that in their cart all day and all night. So, I mean, I can see it being more than just the sun in their case, yeah. So, y'all, this is everywhere. The Most High is busy. He is busy. And that sun is doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to nourish the things that are supposed to be here and destroy the things that are not supposed to be here. Know what I mean? Yeah. Donald Trump. And I believe Donald Trump has had skin cancer too. I'm just saying, I believe he's had it. I know Joe Biden did because when he was in office, they even announced his skin cancer. So he definitely had it. But y'all, the fact that this is one of these things that's growing and skyrocketing all over the world says a lot. You know, I remember back when they were talking about climate change, they were talking about how the world was heating up. And, they still had time to do something about it. I don't know what they thought they were going to do. Well, as we can see with these heat domes coming, you know they can't do nothing about it. It is way beyond their control. They wouldn't burn up their own people if they had full control over the weather. Mhm. Yeah. Mhm. And this is the cleanse, Jeremy. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is the cleanse. Oh yeah, the sun is undefeated. The sun is undefeated. Yeah, remember Bill Gates was trying to block out the sun? Y'all remember when people were chattering about that just a few years ago? Now Bill Gates was trying to come up with ways to block out the sun. And I was like, who wants to block out the sun? What? Well, as you can see, if he did, it's not doing any good. But I remember that. And I remember us talking about it. And I just never could understand how he was going to pull that off. You couldn't block the sun out without it impacting everything on Earth. It would literally impact everything that grows on the Earth. And you're going to do that for one group of people? No. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't know how do you reverse the sun though? Come on. That's to me when I heard it, it sounded very unrealistic. And it must be because now all of these heat domes and all this excessive heat is coming. Tiki 116, thank you so much for the super chat. Shalom, Lisa and family. Well, shalom to you, and thank you so much for your support for my channel. Well, I'm sure they're going to give him, a funeral similar to John McCain. They'll probably have him lying in state in DC and in South Carolina. I'm sure maybe there's some people in his home state that want to see him. I don't know why, but I guess anything is possible. Hmm. No, no, I don't think it. Come on, how do you realistically block out the sun? How do you do that? I don't think it can be done. I think any attempt they would try to do, it would fail. Definitely. Mm-mm-mm. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Now, I have another one because the Haitians keep coming on. I don't know how this TPS thing became our problem, but we are certainly being blamed and not Donald Trump, which is very bizarre. You know, we're like, we didn't do this to you, but the videos continue. So you will see some of our people out there responding to it. So, y'all, I will see you at 1:45 for my next live. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Shalom, family.